Hey everybody, how you doing? Red Riggs here. I'll tell you what, I am super excited because today is mine and Mr. Riggs' wedding anniversary. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Y'all got to come out to Redding's Mill Bar and Grill. It's actually going to be headlining. You know he's hilarious. But since I didn't make it last week because, I'm just starting out and everyone's like, don't quit your day job. So I had to work my day job last week. And I apologize. I wanted to be there because it was the anniversary of my first husband's marriage to his third wife. And I was the second wife. And then exactly a month to the day before that, this was 12 years ago. Oh, 17 years ago. My memory. So 17 years ago, March 13th, the first husband married his third wife. And 17 years ago, February 13th, the first husband divorced me. So it's a coincidence, it's all together. But I did want to talk about my first marriage a little bit. Just that my roommate, y'all remember my roommate, he's a millennial, so it's fun. And we were talking about getting married soon. Because if we got married and maybe got 2, maybe 3 foster kids, we could retire early. And I think that's a super idea. But I'll tell you what, this week I'm going to be talking all about Mr. Riggs. Mr. Riggs, I'm going to tell you about successful marriage. We've been married now 11 years. We met in 2004. So it's going to be great. I'm glad that he was named Mr. Riggs because we drove trucks together. That's why I kept the name. It's a great name for driving a truck. I've been to 48 states. I have stories about all those states. I know what they smell like. I know the best food to get there if you're in a big truck. But I'll tell you, the way I think about it now after being in all those places is everybody that lives east of the Mississippi River, they might be kind of lazy. Just, not really adventurous. I don't mean to offend anyone. But people that live from like the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, now those folks, they're curious. Like they crossed that big river, but they got to the mountains and they're like, no, this is all really good and flat and pretty and we can farm. Okay, good. And then those folks that made it across the Rocky Mountains, I'll tell you what, those folks is just crazy. And I think that kind of still stands up today. But anyway, the way I always thought about that when I was driving a big truck 75 miles from the Rocky Mountains on I-70 in Colorado heading to Denver, I could start seeing the Rocky Mountains. So I would always imagine that I was on a horse and had a wagon, a bunch of kids and a family, and we're all in a caravan. And you come up to that. And the closer you get, the bigger they are, and finally you make it there. And I always think of Mr. Denver. Mr. Denver's like, what a great place. We could make a community here. We could grow. We could prosper. And obviously some folks went along with him. But I also think of Mr. Donner. Mr. Donner's like, oh, we totally got this. He's like, he don't ask for directions. He don't need any help. So, and he also is very famous for Donner Pass. And if you haven't heard of that, a lot of people died there. And then they were eaten to survive. So, it's a little crazy, but we are set to survive. But I did want to let you know my favorite states out of 48, Oregon, Arizona. They're not anything alike, so Arizona's like a foreign planet. I love it. The cactuses, the snow, the mountains. I mean, Arizona has it all. And so I got snowed in Flagstaff one time, and I called my dispatcher. He'd only been there a couple of weeks. He was a younger guy, but he started laughing at me, and I'm like, well, that's not a reaction you expect. And so he proceeded to tell me, oh, that's so funny because everybody knows it doesn't snow in Arizona. And I said, well, you check with the Weather Channel and you call me back. So that was the end of that conversation. And then Mr. Riggs and I, we were actually broke down in Arizona, Flagstaff, a couple years back. We went to Grand Canyon and Laughlin and Sedona, and it was great. But this guy was checking out one day there at the office, and the lady's like, what's the name of your trucking company? And he's like, Penis Trucking. And that's all I heard, and I just kind of looked at him, and he looked at me and kind of grinned, and I'm like, what did you say? And he said, PNS trucking. And I said, oh yeah, I'd be working for penis trucking too. But I mishear things. Like there's an actor, he's got a new game show, Rob Lowe. Yeah, when I hear Rob Lowe, all I hear is raw glow. And if you're a domicile purchaser, to me, you're basically a noisy prostitute. You're a hoe moaner. And that's how I hear it. I just mishear things. Like whippersnapper, that's just a porno movie to me. I'm so sorry. But real quick, I just wanted to finish up with the Me Too movement. I'm a Me Tooer, been raped, been molested, don't care. It's in the past, I'm over it. I'm not looking for anybody's money. I just wanted to say I'm tired of the newscasters talking about all these women and saying that they all have holes in their stories. Well, this is a story about rape, so they might want to pick a better word. But you guys, I am having so much fun doing this. I appreciate everybody's support and your love. And I will see you tonight, Wednesday, March the 20th. And it's the first day of spring, y'all. Let's party. Oh, you know you're old and spoiled with a phone when you keep touching the screen on your laptop to get your video to stop. This is live, people.